Hello, and welcome to Christianity Daily with ROSEBIJOUX.RAMIRES. This is Christianity Daily. It is a program where we tackle issues facing Christians. This is a show where we're tackling things that we can use as Christians. We get advice on a daily things on a day-to-day basis on how to live successful and fulfilling lives as Christian. So you're watching Christianity Daily. Please don't go away. I've got a wonderful topic in store for us today, and I pray that God will bless you when you watch this. Don't go away. Stay tuned. So, today we are back with Christianity Daily. I have a topic today entitled, How to Choose a Partner. When considering marriage as a Christian, the things to consider on how to choose your partner. If you're single, you're not married yet, or you were married before things didn't work out well, God knows why, and now you're here, you're still thinking about marriage, or you're young and you're coming into this world, now you're beginning to consider marriage. This topic is for you. This session is for you, and I believe it will be useful. As Christians, getting married is in God's plan for our lives. It started in the Garden of Eden. God made them male and female, and God blessed them, and he told them to fulfill, to be blessed and multiply and fill the earth. So getting married is one of the fulfillment of God's purposes for our lives. So things to consider when getting married. You see, many people get married for the wrong reasons. This is something that I'm talking about from experience. People tend to get married for the wrong reasons these days. People get married for financial reasons. People get married for situational reasons. I have found myself in a certain situation. I found myself in a certain city, and I've got no one to help me, and so I need to get married to get things that are geographical, right? We're talking about getting status. People get married for status reasons because of the situation they find themselves, because of geographical reasons they get married. Or people get married because they are lonely. They get married for companionship. Or very serious Christians who think I'm holy and I'm serious and I'm not going to fornicate. They get married because they do not want to fornicate. They want to stay with one partner. You get married for those reasons. But I want to give us advice today on things to consider, because you cannot just get married for one single reason. You need to get married for a well-rounded purpose, a well-rounded reason. So we're going to start with topic number 1. We should get married for reasons of the kingdom. Kingdom reasons. You'll ask me, what are kingdom reasons? God's purpose. God's purpose for marriage. God made marriage. Kingdom reasons are love. You get married for love. You need to get married for love because you fell in love and you love somebody. Kingdom reasons. You need to get married for unconditional love. Our God is an unconditional. He loves us unconditionally. So we are made in his image and his likeness. So when we are deciding to get married, we need to get married for kingdom reasons. Another kingdom reason is procreation, right? God has blessed Adam and Eve and told them to be blessed, to multiply and fill the earth. Without marriage, there is no procreation. I'm not going to go into the scientific reasons of evolution, how people evolved from apes, from monkeys, from that. Well, it's not happening anymore. So I'm going to go back to the source, the reason of procreation. So marriage, getting married for one of the kingdom reasons is also because of procreation. Okay, that is one of the reasons. Getting married for kingdom reasons also means you love one another, you support one another, you are encouraging one another, you are sacrificing for one another. You get married for love, you get married for support, you get married for sanctification. So if you love, you cover the characteristics of God, of loving each other unconditionally like God. If you get married for kingdom reasons of sanctification, that means you will not be living in sin, therefore fulfilling God's desire for us to flee fornication and flee adultery. If you get married for kingdom reasons of procreation, you are aiding the evolution, you are aiding the will of God of filling the earth. Okay, so that was point number 1. If you decide to get married, you need to decide to seek God's face. We are Christians. We are Christians. This is Christianity Daily. We are talking on topics in a Christian way, in a godly way. Okay? Seek God's face for the partner that you want. When I was younger, our youth leader gave us advice. She said, you're not too young to think about marriage because it's within God's plan. She would say, describe the man you want to marry. Is it tall, dark, and handsome? It's okay. It's not a sin to think about the kind of person you want to marry. Do you want them to be good looking? Do you want them to be tall? Do you want them to be short? Do you want them to be intelligent? How do you want the man for you to marry to be? So pray to God, seek God's face. You can fast about it. It's not a sin. And trust me, you are not too young for it. Maybe you're 18. You're thinking, I've got time. I'm going to think about this when I'm 25, when I'm 26. No, you can think about it now. It's okay to pray to God to show you what your partner should be like. Describe him, okay? Describe him. I know somebody, one of my sisters, she said, I don't want him to be too good looking because I want to be the pretty one in the marriage. All right. So you could be like that sister. You want your husband to be average, not very good looking because you want to outshine him, right? You don't want him to rain on your parade. You can describe that too. It's all very normal, but nevertheless, seek God's face when selecting a partner. Tell God to guide you to choose the right person, to see the right person, because if you're not praying, they could be passing you by and you may not see them. So we talk about seeking God's face. Now you need to decide if you are ready. The book of Matthew 19 verses 11 and 12 talks about maturity. You need to decide if you are ready. You see, marriage is not for children. It's not for young boys and young girls. I'm not just talking about age here. I'm talking about maturity, okay? You may be 30, but you behave like a young boy or a young girl. So marriage is for the mature. You need to be ready and decide if you are mature enough to get married. Because we are Christians, when you're choosing a partner, they have to be God-fearing. Decide that this person that you want to be in your life, maybe they already started to propose marriage to you. Decide, are they God-fearing? You are a child of God. There is no relationship between us and the Gentiles. There is no relationship between light and darkness. You are the child of the light. So it is not advisable for a Christian to choose to marry an unbeliever. You will lay traps for yourself. You will be in a lot of trouble because you'll be spending every day praying that they're saved. You'll be explaining Jesus to them. You shouldn't be explaining Jesus to your partner. There should be somebody that understands the love of God. There should be somebody that understands Jesus, so you live in harmony. So they need to be God-fearing. We said that you need to make sure that they're God-fearing. So you can find your reference in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39. Do not base your decision on looks alone. That is vanity. It is vanity, okay? Do not base your decisions on looks alone. Yes, I did describe earlier, you can describe how they want to be, but don't base it on looks alone. Ensure that they're in the Lord, because bad company corrupts good character. If you are married or you get married to somebody who is not God-fearing, You may soon also stop fearing God, because bad company corrupts good character. You want to maintain your principles in the Lord. So the partner coming into your life should not lead you astray. They should not deviate you from the love of Christ. They should not deviate you from your character of being a born-again Christian. There is no age limit when choosing your partner. Really, there isn't. There isn't a place in the Bible which they say you have to be 15, you have to be 14, you have to be 20, you have to be 40. There isn't any age limit. But the book of 1 Corinthians 7, verses 36 will talk to you about sexual maturity. It's describing when somebody is mature, as we mentioned before. You will know within yourself that I'm no longer a child. You've reached sexual maturity. You are at that point where, as the Apostle Paul is saying, if you're not able to contain yourself, it is better for you to marry. So yes, abstaining or avoiding sexual immorality is one of the reasons why we should be getting married, yes. But it's not just one of them. Because if avoiding or fleeing youthful lust is the only reason we get married, we soon find ourselves being in a sexual relationship with a partner and being bored. So you've selected this partner because you want to flee youthful lust, you want to flee immorality, and then what? There is no love. And then what? There is no maturity. And then what? There is nothing else that makes up a marriage, so it will be doomed. So you should be able to be choosing to marry or make a decision to get married when you feel that you have fully reached sexual maturity. 1 Corinthians 7 verses 36. So whilst talking about making sure you've attained sexual maturity and talking about there is no age limit, you need to also bear in mind that when you're deciding to get married, you need to have the legal age. You need to be of the legal age in the country you reside in. Okay, I don't know, I think in America, the legal age to get married is probably 16. I could be wrong, but make sure that you're choosing to get married and you are of that age. So you feel mature, you fulfill the Bible, the biblical standards of how to choose a partner. You're ready, you're mature, but also you need to be of a legal age to get married. You can't be 12 and deciding, I'm going to get married now. It's not going to work. Okay, whoever you be marrying will be committing a crime if they do decide to marry you at the age of 12 in the UK, because they will be done for pedophilia, right? So no, you need to make sure that you are of a legal age to get married in the country you reside in. Things to consider when choosing a partner. Are they qualified enough to marry you? Meaning, do they have a financial means? Have they got a qualification? Have they studied? Have they earn themselves an education? Are they earning a living? So have they got a qualification to be a husband or to be a wife, right? Because nowadays it's about supporting one another. Two is better than one, okay? You bring 50%, they're bringing 50%. And you make up a home, you make up a marriage. So when considering somebody to marry, you need to consider whether they are able to have a job to support you financially, because it's not just going into it for the sake of love, but you also have to be able to support each other financially. You need to be able to pay rent or buy a house. You need to live, you need to eat. You're not going to get married and live in a house where you stare at each other with no food or drink, all right? So you need to be able to have means to support yourselves. So that's another question that you should consider when deciding on marriage. Still on marriage, when considering your partner, you need to make sure that you are both responsible. We talked about maturity, but now we're talking about responsibility. The book of Genesis talks about a man shall leave his father and shall cleave unto his wife, and the two shall become one. So there has to be that sense of responsibility. You have to both leave and become. You leave your various respective homes, you leave your respective cultures, you leave your respective ideals or where you came from, and you mix and you come together. So I'm talking to somebody who's single, somebody who's young, somebody who's making a decision to choose a partner. You need to be responsible enough to leave and become, okay? This person, a man or a woman, needs to leave and become close and cleave and make up a home and make up a life together with whoever you are going to join with. So a responsibility of leaving and becoming. The reference, what I've just said, is found in Genesis 2, verse 24, if you want to read it. A man shall leave and cleave and become. Another point is you need to consider each other's characters. You need to study that person, okay? Study the person that you're deciding to accept their proposal to marry you. What are your characters like? Is this person humble? Is this person polite? Is this person loving? Because it is now that you are making this decision that you can decide on how to accept their proposal. Once you accept, you'll get engaged. Again, further studies of each other's characters. And then once you get married and you are in the house, we need to be avoiding people getting married for the wrong reasons and then being divorced. Study each other's characters from word go. Are they polite? Are they responsible? Are they friendly? Are they kind? Are they giving? Are they supportive? Study each other's character. Are they angry all the time? Do they suffer from problems of anger? Do they need anger management before they decide to marry anybody? So study each other's characters in order to be able to support, inform your decision. So you are deciding, I like this person because they smile a lot. I like this person because they're moody all the time. I like them because they're not humble enough. I like a proud person. That's not really a good thing anyway, by the way. It's not. But are they humble? I like that attribute about their character. So you need to study each other's character and make that decision before deciding to accept their proposal. Another point before I finish just for today, study each other's family backgrounds. Right. This is very, very important. People get married. They rush into it. And then they soon find out that this person's family or traditional backgrounds don't match with theirs. For example, you may find that there are things in this person's life that don't match with yours. Maybe they suffer from sickle cell. This is very, 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 very important when getting married. People don't get tested for bloods. They don't get tested for diseases. They don't get tested for genetics. We are Christians. I understand that very much. But we shouldn't just leave everything up to God. We have been given the free will to decide. We are responsible for our own actions. We should not blame God for things. So you've not studied this person's family background. Then you get married and find out that you have sickle cell trait. And they have sickle cell trait. So you start having children that are suffering with sickle cell. You bring these children into the world to suffer. I'm not saying you shouldn't have children if you've got sickle cell. That's not what I'm saying. But when you find out about the family backgrounds of diseases, of genetics, and you make an informed decision to go into this marriage like that, it's you deciding to go into this marriage with the situation you have found, not it catching you by surprise. Study each other's cultures. What do they like? What does my culture like? Is it contradictory? This is the time you are making a decision to find a partner. So it is only normal that you make decision to find out about their family background, their cultural background, which also includes certain taboos and includes certain diseases that are genetic to this person's family. So it's very important. We will come back to give more topics and more points as to how to select a partner. We haven't finished yet. This is Christianity Daily. After you've watched this, if you've got comments, you've got questions, please do write to us on Christianity Daily's page. Write your questions and comments to us. If you have comments to make, do make your comments. We appreciate that very, very much. It's the only way we will go forward. We will stop here for today, but the points I have covered, I believe, are very, very important. We are Christians, but we are not in heaven yet. We are still in the world. So we need to be able to make decisions that affect us whilst we are still in this world. I hope you've been blessed by today's sessions. To all the people out there who've watched, may God bless you. Those who like Sister Rose Bijou, please go and like my page, Christianity Daily with Rose Bijou Ramirez. Follow us on Twitter on Rose Bijou Ramirez and on Instagram. And also do like and subscribe to our page on YouTube, Rose Bijou Ramirez. I hope somebody has been blessed. Thank you, a big thank you to Enzo Photography and Badix Production. And thank you to my parents who've been so supportive of me, Mama Celine and Papa Lajoie and all my family. May God bless you for watching. Until next time, be encouraged, uplifted, and be blessed. Bye-bye.